Hi everybody, it's the Hardy Girl, and welcome to my very first doll craft tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make Jiffy Pop Popcorn for your 18-inch doll, similar to the one from American Girl that Julie Albright has. Okay, this one came out pretty well and it's pretty easy to make. What you'll need are the following items. This is Crayola White Model Magic clay, and also yellow Crayola Model Magic clay, white glue, aluminum foil, a paintbrush so you can brush the glue on, the lower part of a plastic knife, fork, or spoon. It should be heavyweight, not the really light bendy kind, and it should have ridges. And this is completely optional. If you want to use some Sharpies, red and blue, and some clear nail polish so that you can make the handle that says Jiffy Pop. And you want to put the nail polish on so it doesn't rub off. But that's completely optional, okay? So I'm going to set up my materials and I'll get started. See you in a minute. Okay, so now I've taken out my white Model Magic clay, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to break off this piece of it and roll it into a ball. Okay, and flatten it. It should be the size of a circle, the size of the middle of your palm, about that big. I have very small hands, so you know, if you're a small child doing this, don't think that my hands are going to be bigger. So, okay, so it's about the circle and it's very small. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take a bigger piece of the Model Magic and roll it into a bigger ball. Okay, all rolled out there. Okay, and then what you're going to do with that is you're going to make sort of a bowl shape. So don't dip your finger in the middle and kind of push the clay to the sides. Okay, and you want to make it sort of deep and then put it on the, on your table so that you get the bottom part flat. Okay, so it'll go on the bottom circle. Okay, and then what you're going to want to do after you've gotten it all flat right here is you're going to want to bring up the sides a little bit and kind of turn them around as if they were the aluminum foil that you pulled back from the popcorn. And you can just kind of play with it a little bit, kind of bend it in. They should be not super thin, but sort of thin, and kind of bring it in. Okay, I'm going to bring this part over a little bit. Okay, like that. Okay, and you want enough room just for your popcorn to be seen, so don't make it too small at the top. Let me fix this piece right here. There we go. And then I'm going to put it on top of this bottom piece. And again, just push down on the bottom. Okay, so you can make it flat and you see the circle that's on the bottom. See that? And what you want to do is kind of push down in with your fingers so that it kind of joins together. Okay, and before you ask, and I know I may get some questions on this, it's really necessary to use the Model Magic as opposed to Sculpey or clay because it's a lot more pliable, and when it dries, it's a lot lighter. And you don't want something terribly heavy that your doll is not going to be able to hold. Okay, so you're going to want to play with that and join it to the bottom there. Okay, and it should look something, though not exactly, like this. Now this one's a little flatter than the one I did before. I'm going to kind of bring it up a little bit here. Yeah. And you know, you can do this multiple times and it's not really going to come out the same way every time you do it. Because you know, it's a very pliable substance, and you know, and don't worry about getting it exactly right, because this is your artwork. This is, you know, for your doll. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Don't worry about, oh, I'm doing it wrong. You know, have fun with it. You know, I tried this multiple times when I did this. This one right here I did, and it came out really, really tiny. And this was my first test run to see if I could actually do it. And I'm going to keep it because actually it's a pretty decent size for a Barbie doll. So that would, you know, be really cute for a Barbie doll. And back in the day, Jiffy Pop did not have that little nice plastic handle that the Julie Albright one does. It actually did have a wire handle, and you had to hold on to it with a oven mitt when you shook it over the stove. Okay, so that would be good for a small size. Just keep that in mind. And like I said, don't worry about getting these perfect, okay? So it's going to look about like that. There, okay? So after that, you're going to take the bottom half of your knife, fork, or spoon. And like I said before, it should have ridges on it if you're really interested in making the Jiffy Pop logo. And it also should not be extremely lightweight and very bendy, because you're going to want to use this to pick up the popcorn with. So basically just stick it in the side closest to the lower part. Like that. Okay, it's in there, in the side, and yeah, the side's going to get a little pushed in when you do that. Okay. If you need to add a little bit more model magic on the side, you can do that, and don't worry about how the shape's going to come out because the foil's going to cover it anyway. All right. I'm still fiddling with this because I just like to make it look like it's the foil coming off the sides there. Okay. Now I'm going to take I'm going to get some more model magic, and I'll be back in a bit. Don't go away. Okay, back again. Now I've got some more model magic, the white, and then I also have some yellow, because this is what you're going to use to make the popcorn with, okay? This one's been sitting here for a minute. Now model magic does dry rather quickly when it's flat. Please remember that. If you're not going to get to one color or another for a while, you might want to cover it up or put it in a plastic baggie or something, because you don't want it to dry out on you, and then you're not going to be able to do the project. Okay, so to make the popcorn that goes in the bowl, you will take little bits of white and little bits of yellow, and you're going to take the pieces together and kind of twist it a bit and stick it in the bowl. Now, you're going to do this a few times, and it is going to meld itself together. So don't worry about having to glue it down or it's not going to fit properly. Do this a few times. So that it kind of looks like popcorn. And you're going to, if you really are more partial to buttered popcorn, then the white popcorn, use more yellow. If you're more partial to white popcorn, and with a little bit of yellow in it, use more white. But you're going to do that a few times. Okay. And you want to have it looking like, it's sort of spilling out, coming over the sides a little bit, because when you open up Jiffy Pop, of those of you who have ever eaten it before, it really does kind of, come out the sides like that when you're doing it. Also, remember that model magic does meld really easily. It mixes together. So don't push too hard when you're twisting, okay? because what's going to happen is it's going to wind up all yellow. And you don't want that to happen. Okay, I'm just about finished here. Okay, I've just got most of my colors done. Okay, and it looks like it's kind of coming off the, there you go. Okay, there we go. See that? And it kind of looks like there's popcorn in there, right? And like I said, Model Magic will adhere to itself, so you don't have to worry about gluing it in or anything like that. Okay? I'm still gonna pull these down a little bit. Make it look like I just pulled back the foil. Okay? So now, since Model Magic is a very dense substance, it's not going to dry right away if it's not flat. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take it and set it aside on a nice flat surface, away from things that will get on it. And I suggest drying this part for 2 days. Okay? And then laying it on its side and drying it. I'm going to take my finished one here. Lay on its side once this is dry and hard. Lay it on its side and let the bottom dry, because the bottom is not going to dry properly if it's sitting on the surface. So you want to make sure that you dry it on its side. Now, I already have another one here that I worked on last week that is already dry. And this is how it's going to look before. And like I said, they don't come out the same. This is very different than this. Okay? And this is very different from this. It's going to be different every time you do it. And like I said, don't worry about that. It's not a big deal. It's not right or wrong or whatever. It's your work. So this one's already dry. The bottom half is dry. I laid it on its side. This got dry for 2 days. I laid it flat like this, and this got nice and dry. Okay, so you're going to want it completely dry before you put the foil on. So I'm going to set this one I just did aside. I'm going to squeeze it up a little bit like that. And sometimes, you know, if you're working with this and it doesn't come out like really round looking on the sides, like my first one basically came out looking like a pot. That's okay because of the way I molded it. This one came out a little bit differently. It didn't come out quite looking like a pot, but it's still not as round as the one I just did. And I guess each time you do this, your technique will either improve or change. You know, kind of go like that. And it's, like I said, it's okay. So I'm going to put this aside, and then we're going to start putting the aluminum foil on. And I'll be right back. Okay, back again, and I put some glue on some wax paper here, and it's right now, it's kind of getting a little runny, so I better get started. I have my dry one here, and what I'm going to do is take some glue with my paintbrush, and I'm going to brush it onto, I'm going to start with the ridges first, I think. Up here, where I want it to look like the foil is pulling away from the popcorn, okay? And I'm just going to put, try not to drip, I'm going to put some glue on it. And you also want to get like a little bit inside, see that? A little bit inside here, so it looks like, you know, there's actual foil right there. You just don't want to put it all on the outside. You want to get it a little bit on the inside so that it looks like, you know, that's all the foil that you're pulling away, okay? Put it over here. And like I said, after sticking the spoon in, if you need to put a little bit more clay, it really isn't going to matter because, like I said, it's going to be covering up, it's going to be covered up by the foil. So that's okay. Okay, so I got my, and then I'm going to take a little piece of aluminum foil here, and you're not going to want to make big pieces. You're going to want to do it small. Okay, so I'm kind of putting it on the edges here, little bitty pieces. Get it on there. Ah, get on there. And, you know, just tear up some small pieces. I'm going to get a big piece here so you won't keep seeing my arm. There we go. And just some little pieces for around the ledge of the popcorn. Okay. Like that. And, you know, it's really great when you're working with the white glue because white glue dries clear. It does not dry looking white, as most of you know. So if you kind of make a mistake or you think it's a mistake, like I said, this is all subjective or objective, not subjective. You know, put a little bit more foil on and glue it over again, and that's okay. There's a little bit more here. Okay, and there. And you kind of want to pinch where your ledges were. Okay, now that I've got most of the edges done, I'm going to take a slightly bigger piece of foil. Oop, that one fell off. Put a little more glue on there. There we go. Okay, now that most of it's glued onto the sides, I'm going to take a longer strip, okay, and put some glue on it. Okay, and brush it onto the foil itself. Okay, and wrap it around. And my smaller piece is going to be where this handle is. I'm going to wrap it around there, like that. And kind of push it in. And because your edges are going to come up a little bit, you're going to want to, let's see if I can do this one like that. Yeah, I think I can. I'm going to put a little more on this one. When your edges come up, you can brush it over the top of your edges with the glue, because like I said before, the glue is going to dry clear. Okay. Okay, and you're going to want to give these a chance to dry a little bit, and they dry pretty quickly actually. Okay. They dry pretty fast. Okay, so you kind of meld that in there and pinch the edges so that you can still see your edges of your popcorn. Okay, now I'm not going to continue to do this all on camera, but you basically get the idea that what you're supposed to do. Okay, so it looks, basically it's going to look covered. I'm going to do the bottom as well. And when it's finished, it'll look pretty much like this. Now, if you choose to, and this is what I said before, optional. I'm getting a little close. I don't want to get too close because I don't want it to flash out on me. The handle, what you want to do, if you choose to, is take a red Sharpie, write the words Jiffy Pop, J-I-F-F-Y, Pop, P-O-P. Okay, two separate words. Write that in here with the red marker. Okay, oop, there we go. Not used to working with my webcam, I'm so sorry. And then take your blue one, and remember how I said you wanted one with an edge along the edges. Do it with right with the blue. Okay, and then when you're done, give it a chance to dry so that it doesn't smudge when touched. And then what you want to do is take some clear nail polish and brush it over it. It's going to smear a teeny bit, but trust me, it's going to be worth it because it will not smear every time you handle it. Okay, because you don't want the words Jiffy Pop to come off when you're picking it up. So if you brush some clear nail polish on, a couple of coats, allow it to dry, then, you know, it'll look like similar to the logo from that one. It says Jiffy Pop there on the side, okay? So basically, that's how you make a Jiffy Pop for your 18-inch doll. And like I said before, if your ends come up, brush, put a nice coat over it, a coat of glue over this, all over, okay? And coat it over. The bottom too, you know, bend the ends up, coat the bottom, okay, with white glue. It will dry clear. You don't see any glue sitting on this, okay? It'll dry nice and clear. Bend the bottom ends up, and that's pretty much how you do it. If you've got any questions, if I haven't made something clear for you, please comment below. I hope you enjoy, if you've enjoyed this craft. And if you've made one for your American Girl doll, I'd really love to see it. So you can make a video response if you choose to. PM me. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks guys for watching, and please comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.